I am Eugene Istomin, and I'm very pleased to be asked by the librarian and the head of the music division to be the host of this series of dialogues and encounters at the Library of Congress. Today, in this beautiful room, the Whitall Pavilion, where some of the most precious string instruments are displayed, I have asked several eminent colleagues to join me in an extemporaneous discussion on chamber music. The library possesses some crowning jewels in manuscripts relevant to our subject. We agree that it is important to remember where we came from, how our European roots and background have now become universal roots.
See, there is an accent.
I feel honored to be joined by my colleagues, violinists Pamela Frank, Jaime Laredo, Arnold Steinhardt. Cellists Lynn, Harrell, and Sharon Robinson, and pianists Claude Frank and Joseph Kalichstein.
It's very hard without the string play.
I'd like to talk a little bit about the Brahms Sextet, which is a special favorite of mine, and I suspect everybody here.
The most exciting chamber music experience I probably ever had was playing this piece with Casals in Puerto Rico with Sasha Schneider, Leslie Parnas, Michael Tree, and Milton Thomas. And we all had ideas, but Casals' power as a musician just was overwhelming, and we looked to him for our inspiration and for our wisdom, and there was really that sense of this giant musician there, and that we should just go along with his ideas.
I wonder how much of it is the personality and how much of it is the desire to bring out of yourself, bringing the best out of yourself in playing in that kind of experience, because you feel that something exceptional is happening.
But I always thought of chamber music as a way to combat loneliness. I mean, the idea of chamber music is to be with other people, and I really think we weren't put on this earth to play by ourselves. That's also why I don't play any solo Bach or solo anything, because I like the interaction. And so the word camaraderie, I think, is the reason for doing it. And
but also, it's the best way to learn new stuff from your colleagues.
Yeah.
I think in schools there should be the most emphasis on learning from your colleagues more than from your teacher, because you learn so much more from everybody your age.
I once played the Beethoven A major sonata, cello sonata with Lenny Rose, and I subscribed to what you said, so when he asked for opinions, I said, I don't like your opening. And he said, I do. That's the end of that.
End story.
Well deserved.
I have a wonderful Henrik sharing story about that kind of camaraderie. He was a great violinist, very peculiar individual, as we all know.
No argument.
And the only time I played with him, the first and only, we were put together by happenstance, and of course I was a very young man and he was this great maestro. So in the first rehearsal I didn't say a word for about 2 hours. He had wonderful ideas, and finally there was a spot in the Brahms G major violin sonata where I dared open my mouth and said something. And there was total silence. I could hear in his mind, the wheels going, and this little punk is telling me how to play the phrase. And he said, let's try it. So we tried it my way. And again, total silence. And then he said, oh, it's wonderful, my dear Joseph, how you make me play the way I wanted to. that was his answer to a suggestion.
Sometimes when I was playing with Stern, with Isaac, the best performances were those in which nothing was said afterward. Nothing. And when we were playing the triple concerto with Lenny Rose, we looked after Lenny Rose like he was our little baby that was the most sensitive and the most nervous about that part, this exposed part. It's whatever arguments we had, and we had plenty of arguments, lots of arguments together. The minute we got on the stage, it was a unit that came together for no other reason, for the dedication to the music and dedication to oneself, to one's partners. We became brothers in that we could hit each other hit each other and slap each other in the ear and curse at each other afterwards, but we were brothers. And that's, to me, is the essence of what the relationship in the group playing chamber music is. Certainly in the trio, we were all three of us being out showing off and doing the maximum that we could with our solos and our things. And whoever had the solo, other people dropped down, but it was an active feat of virtuosity on everybody's part to make it as good as it could be.